Don't you love professional gear?
Excellent. I like this gizmo. This is great.
Because you can see yourself.
Yeah, it's very cool.
And you look pretty good.
Oh, no, you don't look bad yourself.
I'm Cara, and this is Adam Wakeman.
Hi.
Hi, I'm glad you're Adam. Nice to meet
Yeah,
you.
well...
You're some guy that sat down and said, let's record.
Do you know, I was just thinking this. I was doing an interview earlier, and somebody came up to me, and I said, are you John? And he went, yeah. And I went, from Bloomberg? And he went, no, I'm John. I'm just like carrying boxes of water around. So, yeah, there's potential for some fairly catastrophic mistakes.
Yes.
There's 300,000 people out there.
Yes. And everyone says they're press.
Yeah, exactly. Just trying to get a little bit closer to the action.
Your accent is awesome. I'm sure I have the accent to you, but I love your accent.
Oh, thank you very much.
So I don't want to, it's not like you're riding his coattails, but it can't not be noted that your dad is Rick Wakeman from Yes, and I think that's really awesome. I love
excellent.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a great bloke.
Yeah, and so your ability for keyboards, obviously, maybe a little bit of genes, but there's got to be a discipline involved in that. Because you can't be as good as you are and just say, oh yeah, I was born with it.
No, I think I have had people say to me, it must be great, you just sort of inherit the gene. And I said, I wish somebody would have told me that when I was sort of 8 years old, practicing 6 hours a day.
You practiced 6 hours a day when you were 8?
No, not when I was 8, but by the time I got to about 15, I was practicing.
That's still incredible.
I went through the classical kind of training, the classical grades, which I think gives you such a good kind of fundamental basis for whatever you do in music. If you've got a classical background, I think it really helps with whatever you're doing.
Absolutely. So. Is it different? Because I know if you learn classical guitar, there's a different way of playing. Is that a different physical way of playing?
Well, with the piano, it's very kind of a sort of dedicated kind of discipline. And I think when you kind of master that and you've got that discipline, you can turn that into whatever you're playing. If you're playing, it's like playing Hammond organ. I play quite a bit of Hammond organ with some sessions, and that's a completely different thing altogether than playing a keyboard or the piano. It's kind of the sort of basics are the same, but it's kind of the style and the way you play is you just alter.
Right. So when did you start playing with Sabbath? I mean, that's a big deal. Does it make you nervous?
No, not really. I mean, the first show I did with Sabbath, I think, was 2003 or 2004, so it's quite a while ago. And we did kind of a run of Ozfests in the US, and then we did the following year the same sort of thing, Ozfest, and then we did some European shows. It's great. I mean, such a privilege to be a part of something on a legendary stage like these guys. It's great. And then from that I worked then with Ozzy for. I've been in his band for the last 8 years now. And
you're just not in the band; you write stuff too. It's not like you're in a session guy.
No, with Ozzy's band, it's been great. I mean, the last album I co-wrote 6 tracks with Ozzy and Kevin Churko, and and to actually get to play some of those tunes live as well with Ozzy was really cool. That was a really sort of quite a proud moment,
Oh my gosh, yeah. We're at Lollapalooza, by the way. I don't think I said that to the camera. And there's like noise behind us. Not noise, music. It's Afghan Wigs, I think, is on right now.
Right.
Are you getting to see bands when you're here?
Well, today, no, because we've, obviously I've got stuff leading up to the show. I might see a bit of the Black Keys because they're on at the same time.
Yes.
So
how's that going to happen?
I'll be able to sort of look across at the other stage, although it's about
Why is that keyboard guy got binoculars?
I think I'd be fired for that. But tomorrow, I'm here tomorrow, so I'm flying home on Sunday, which means I get a day here.
And I saw you were here earlier at Big Bowl. I saw you on Twitter. I'm like, darn, you said you were alone. I'm like, I love Big Bowl.
Oh, you should have come down. You should have come down. Yeah, no, I love that place. And Pippin's as well is a popular choice. Which is the,
oh my God, you were at Pippin's.
So I've been there.
Did you know that's where Duran Duran? Oh, I shouldn't say that, but that's where they go when they come in town. It's like a normal bar. That's what I like about it.
I was actually talking to Jimmy, one of the guys that works there, and saying why it's so kind of nice for an English person, because it's as close to an English pub as you can kind of find in a sort of an American city.
Yeah.
And it's so so many of those sort of places are getting shut down and turning into wine bars and shit like that.
Yeah.
At least that just still has a kind of.
Do they still throw peanut shells on the floor?
Yes.
Yeah.
That,
it's a good bar when they do that.
Yeah. Well, when I first saw that, I started picking them up. I was like trying to sweep them up.
I'm on a musician's budget. There might be some nuts in those shells.
Exactly. I'm not wasting anything.
So tell me about Headspace. That's got to be like your dream.
Headspace is it's our kind of, it's the band that I wish we were we'd got together when I was sort of 17, and we could sit in the back of a van and drive around the country doing it, because it's such a, it's all of our collective musical kind of outpouring, channeling band. Because I mean, it's great doing the with the Sabbath stuff and the Aussie stuff, and I do some shows with a guy called Will Young in England, and but you're playing other people's music predominantly, which is fantastic. But there's a part of you that, the creative side of it, to have your own band and to put some time and effort into that is kind of, is pretty special. And hopefully we're going to do some shows in Europe in September. We got 6 shows, a couple in Holland, Germany, Belgium, and then 2 in the UK. And we're going to play the album from start to finish. It's a concept album, and it's we're doing it with another band called Haken, and they're going to play one of their concept albums in its entirety as well. So really looking forward to that, and that will, that's as close to the kind of the classical training as you can get, because it's kind of a progressive rock band. It's kind of very sort of complex changes and complex parts. And you kind of, after that gig, you kind of feel like you've done a gig.
It must be hard balancing, Black Sabbath and then your own band. How does that work? Does it slow you down?
Obviously it does slow the writing process and the recording process with Headspace down, but Aussie's always been a priority for me. What other things I do, if there's some Aussie stuff comes up, I make that my priority. Headspace is a close second. I prioritise Headspace over everything else. But it's different because the other guys in Headspace they all do session work for other bands. So for us to actually try and get together, that's why the album I Am Anonymous took nearly 5 years to finish.
Oh wow!
Just because I was away for 18 months with Ozzy, then I was back for sort of 6 months. The guitar player was over in America with the band over here. So it was kind of, to actually get the time together is quite difficult. But then, we were sort of doing it on our own terms. So there was no kind of rush to get it finished. We just finished it when it finished.
Right. Well, it happens when it happens.
Exactly.
Well, thank you very much. I'm very excited to talk to me.
My pleasure. Thanks for coming.
I can't wait to see you on stage.
Thanks.
You're really good.
Aww.
I mean, people are like, "Oh, it's not the original keyboard player." Well, so freaking what?
Yeah. Is he still alive, the original keyboard?
Hello.
No, I think he is. He's not, unless something's happened during the filming of this interview. I'm going to get myself in all sorts of sticky situation here. Oh dear.
We're both turning red. I'm going to turn off.